really good. What's up, LinkedIn and Facebook? I am super grateful to have Quentin Allums with us today. Such an inspiration to me and to so many people. Quentin, how are you? Hold on one second. Let me get
good.
Hold on, let me get you. Okay, hi, Quentin. How are you? Okay, so I got us both live. I want to make sure that we're both up here. Hold on one second. Okay, one second.
This is Switcher, right?
Yep, we're on Switcher and we're both live. We're on Facebook.
Awesome.
I just want to make sure that we're on. Yes, we are multi-streaming on LinkedIn. I got the notification. That is awesome. So, why it's, you know, that every LinkedIn Live that I've had for the past 2 months has every single one of them has said that you got them started, told them that they should do videos. So that was everybody. So full circle, I'm super happy to have you here because I feel like that you were a part of everyone's journey that I've been interviewing. So how does that make you feel?
That's really cool. That's really cool. You know, also, your dog is the most amazing thing. I just noticed. What's the dog's name?
This is Wolfgang.
Wolfgang.
Yeah, we call him Wolfie for short. And you know what's funny about this dog is that my daughter manifested him.
Really? Just show up one day?
No, actually we had an issue with a dog when I got the dogs earlier when the kids were younger, and it was a little bit of aggressive with my kids, so we had to, you know, give it away. So it's really hard. We found a great home for it. We know where it's at, but it was something that was really hard. So my daughter wanted a dog really bad, and I was like, I don't know if it's the right time, and you know, my heart was kids are my babies. But my daughter for 4 months drew a picture, was talking about this white dog, and we're always wearing black, so like a white dog was like, no, that's not happening, I'm sorry. But literally we went to a pound and there was only 2 dogs available and he was one of them, and it didn't even dawn on me until we brought him back, and I was like, oh my God, she manifested this dog. He's been perfect. He's amazing. He's in all my lives. He sits in that spot every time. So your dog is pretty important to you too, Levi, right?
He is, yeah. That's my dude. That's my guy. He's not here today because I've had a lot of meetings, but he's chilling at the apartment.
Aw, that's awesome. They're really huge, you know, for us, and emotional support too. My daughter especially. So
yeah.
But Q, I want to talk to you about your journey, because, you know, personal branding, I know you have some really strong views on personal branding, but it's evolved a lot for you. You've grown through this, and I want to talk about that for people who are just starting out, and people who have been doing it and are struggling a little bit with it. You know, they're missing something and they just don't feel like how it's connecting. And I feel like a lot of the posts that you've put out lately, like the last one, the chair in the air, whoa, that's huge. It was huge for me to hear, because I can relate so deeply to that. And I feel that a lot of people can. And you seem so humble, and it's just, you have such a huge impact on people, and it's just crazy. So tell us about your journey and how you evolved as a person through personal branding.
Yeah. Do you want the short version or the long version?
No, let's go for it. Let's go deep.
Yeah. I would say, I guess, like how I've evolved. Like I remember back in college, directly out of college, actually, my buddy was like, yo, you're starting a virtual reality company. Can I interview you? And I was super uncomfortable. I'm like, no, probably not. Like, I don't know what I'm going to say. Like, that's out of my comfort zone, but I agreed to it. And it was the worst thing that I've ever done. Like, super embarrassing, like terrible experience, because I had no idea how to talk to a camera, even though I was having a conversation, you know. I was just kind of quiet my entire life anyway, but terrible experience. And I'm like, okay, if I'm going to be this business owner, this entrepreneur guy, I've got to be able to talk to people. I've got to be able to pitch. So I was like, I'm going to shoot a video every day for 365 days and see what happens. And nothing happened. You know, I shot a video every single day. And I got okay with it. And my first company failed because, again, I had no idea what I was doing. Learned a lot. Second company I decided to start, and it was just an agency. And I pivoted a lot, ended up on personal branding because I was really good with people. Again, really had no idea what I was doing, but jumped from platform to platform. So YouTube to Instagram to Snapchat to Ask Whale to Facebook to all these different platforms, and ended up moving to LinkedIn around the time that Broetry was really big, and people were writing these line by line posts talking about things that they were going through in their business and their career. And then video was released. And I'd been shooting videos every single day for little over a year at that time. I found some success on Ask Whale, had some viral videos, but nothing huge. I started writing on LinkedIn because I'm a writer as well. Had some viral posts, but nothing huge. And then I started seeing these LinkedIn videos pop up. And about a week went by, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. I've been doing it for a year. I can do something quirky. I have this space to kind of grow up with the platform. I can start implementing things that no one's doing yet. I've got a personality. I don't look like anyone else. So let's start. And I posted a video and hit 30,000 views. And from there, it was like 100,000, then, 1 million, and then 2 million, then 5, and then 10. And I kept growing.
Wow.
And I would say that's where a lot of people stop, and I've seen a lot of people on LinkedIn find success on LinkedIn, and they think, okay, I understand LinkedIn. I understand everything now. I'm going to start this business and I'm going to be this LinkedIn person. And there's totally validity there. It's totally possible. And there's a lot of room to build a business there, but I'm just crazy curious about everything. I wanted to see if I could do it elsewhere. I wanted to see if I could make people money elsewhere. And I just started talking to people. We started this podcast called Strange on Purpose. And one of my friends I brought on, who's Brittany Crystal, she's worked with people like Marie Forleo and Gary Vaynerchuk and these Tom Bilyeu, these huge names on their personal brands. She's one of the few people that I consume her stuff because I find value in it, and I know she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
She told me that big issue with personal branding is that there's a lack of clarity. People don't actually know who they are, and influence as a whole is just trust. And when you have that trust, you can do anything. And if you know who you are, you can do anything. Everyone's trying to be Gary Vaynerchuk. Everyone's trying to be all these different people. And that was just a big pivotal moment for me. And just really made me go down the rabbit hole. Okay, who is Quentin Allums? Who is Q? Who's just Q? What do I actually care about? What am I actually good at? And
do you think that creating video had a lot to do with that? You finding yourself quicker or faster?
Yep.
Yeah.
I would say yes, but more so building the business did, because the video was just the me talking about and showing what the business was.
Right.
The business that did it in the video, but yeah, it was also therapeutic. It was also kind of like a diary. So I would say it was part of it.
Yeah, very, very interesting. It's because you're trying it on different platforms. You're an entrepreneur at heart. Did you always know that about you?
No, I was a musician. As a kid, I wanted to be a writer, I wanted to be in New York overlooking the city, writing novels. That was my dream outside of athletics. I did have a business and a video game when I was a kid, but I didn't consider it a video game or a business. I just kind of did something because I was curious. I always knew, though, I didn't want to work for someone else. I wanted to do my own thing. I didn't even know there was a word for that,
Right.
But
that's funny. Well, Gary Vee made the entrepreneur word very, very sexy because when I was an entrepreneur, it wasn't an entrepreneur. I was basically unemployed. I didn't have a job. And some people were basically like, okay, you're a loser. You have no job. No, you don't understand. I'm scaling bandwidth on the internet. They didn't get that. But so it's interesting because you said that. So for me, I don't know if you know world, I helped her first. I've been in that business for 20 years. I think the first conversation we had was one of them was on blockchain technology and that's why we were geeking out, is because I love technology, but personal branding for me was weird because I came from a time where I built brands and I built companies, but I never built an identity of myself for one. I always built things for other people, but I also came from a time where privacy was a huge issue. I had a handle. I wasn't myself. I wasn't Virgie. I was another name. So when I got into personal branding, it was whoa, what is this? And I knew that the internet was changing. So things are evolving. So you talked about thought leader and influencer. And I know you speak a lot about this because an influence to me, when I think of influencer, I think of people that impact people. But as we have more influencers, it's evolving. And you're bringing up thought leader, because there's Instagram influencers, like you said, are just the pretty pictures. But then there's people that actually dive deeper into a certain topic, and they're educating and they're bringing awareness. And to me, I think that is huge, because for personal branding, for me, was always had to be linked to passion. Because for me to come out of myself and to push myself to do this, I had to figure out the question you said is, who am I? And the only way to embrace that is, that's why I started with the whole badass thing. Not because I think I'm a badass. It's because, oh, thank you. But it's the thing is, the things are really tough. And I know when you say that, you're still doing the work, but nobody will know what you're actually going through behind the scenes. And the fact that you're willing to share that with people is huge, because that's when most people like get stuck or they stop.
I mean, it's all optics, it's all story. I had a meeting that I can't really divulge much information, but he kind of changed my perspective on a lot of things. He was giving me the example of like the moon landing, like the mission to go to the moon. He said no one really cared. No one gave a shit about going to the moon until it's like, let's beat Russia, like that's the story. Let's win. Let's be the first. Like in business or personal branding, it's the same. It's a story. But business, like a lot of people think that story is just marketing, but it actually starts from the CEO. It starts from the top. Organizations need stories. Like, what's that mission that we're tackling? So it's all optics. It's all story.
It is, and it's interesting because with technology, we become so connected as a society, like so connected, but we really have become disconnected. Yeah. And to the point where I'm actually noticing more of a rise in people wanting community, wanting a human touch, because the world, you can have a real person to connect with, that's really, really hard. That's why I always say, like, when AI takes over, we better make sure we have a symbiotic relationship with it. And like you said, I think I heard you say, is that knowing that we're going in that direction, we need to hold on to what's human. And I think that is huge. So I have another question for you about, because gaming, that's your passion, right? I mean, that music, writing, one of them. These are things that fuel you. And I love the way you said, you did this one thing where you had these 3 circles, and you were trying to talk about all these different, we'll talk about that. Do you remember the video you did where you're talking about you have all these different passions and these different,
like skill stacking.
Yes, if you can dive into that, I would really, really like that.
Yeah, I had a conversation with Dylan Ali this morning, who's one of our clients, also just a really good friend, cool dude. Follow him on LinkedIn or Instagram, wherever you're at. But we were just talking, and I was like, I'm just in like this weird headspace, like just, again, going back to that moment where I was a kid and I wanted to be a writer, but people were saying like, you got to be an English teacher, or you should get into marketing, or you're never going to be able to be an author, things like that. And I started just thinking back to my content, where I'm at, where I want to go. And I'll relate this back to skill stacking, but it's like, okay, like I'm known for video, yes, but I'm probably a significantly better writer than I am on video, or I am in front of the camera, or I am behind the camera, but how can I blend those two? Like, so the thing that I made yesterday, that was my writing, and that's the thing that like drove that, but also I paired it with my video skills. So just stacking. So things like that. So I'm passionate about esports. I'm passionate about strategy. I love human behavior, like business, things like that. So how can I not master all of those things individually, but how can I master the intersection between those? And I think that's where you really find like your ability to stand out, because there's a lot of people that are good at video games. There's a lot of people that are amazing strategists, or good at business, or good at whatever, but there's not a lot of people that can do all the things that I can do very well. So mastering that intersection, Absolutely. I think that was a blog by James. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. James A. Altucher.
That's funny.
I don't know. Yeah.
You'll remember it later, right after this too. You'll say it perfectly. No, but it's true though. But I believe, like, I have this thing where it's like, take your passion and make it happen. Because I have been an entrepreneur for 20 years, and I know what it's like to chase a business and try to build it because you need to make money, and then you build it, and then you're like, oh great, I hate this. I want out of this so bad. This is not what I thought it was going to be. And for me, as I'm creating business now, like this year with personal branding, I had no ask, and I know that you did another video talking about you need an offer, you need a business. And I absolutely 100% that. Because for me this year, I intentionally didn't ask for anything because I really wanted to figure out what that thing was that I wanted to follow through on, that I wanted to support, because I know what it's like to build a members area and manage a members. It's a lot of work. And it's not just really selling a product. You have to, like you said it, when you take money from somebody, it's a very big responsibility. You owe them, more than just, oh yeah, go do this. You have to care about their growth and giving them results. So it's a very, very cool. So now, what is your perspective with technology and kids? Okay, because I know that you were younger, and I know a lot of people were telling you, no, go get a real job, don't do video games, that's not where it's at. But I see a future in esports. Like I really do think that it's going to take over in a crazy, crazy way, and not just because Gary Vee said so, because you said so. Because it's now so many people are trying to keep their kids off of technology, not letting them have so much, time on the phones and stuff. What is your perspective on that? How should people be embracing that, knowing where the future is going?
Yeah, I would say learn from history, like learn from history. Like, yo, rock and roll's not cool, or blah, it's bad, it's gonna make us bad, or don't listen to the radio, like television, like you're keeping them off of technology or video games or whatever. Like even just limiting it. I'm not gonna tell anyone how to parent because I'm not a parent. I do have a dog, but I'm not a parent. But also like that's the world that they're gonna be living in, like understanding how ads work. Like I had a kid, I was on on their podcast. It was like this program in Delavan, Wisconsin, really cool program. He's talking to me about all these things he's passionate about, and he just likes exploring how things work, and he's always on YouTube. That's the world he's going to live in, and limiting that is like trying to force them to live into the old world, which is just not going to be scalable for them. They're not going to find much success in that. It's like, go to college and sit in a desk and learn how to ask questions. Like that doesn't help you in the real world, like exploring what is actually going on, like me building a business on a video game. I didn't know it at the time, helped me. Me just sitting in the back corner of class and writing stories. I didn't know it, but it helped me, like that's the world that I live in. That's the world that they're going to live in. So just let them explore those passions and abilities, and definitely esports it's already a huge industry, but it's going to be huge.
I know, it really is. It's crazy. It embraces music industry, like like legends. That's huge music there. It's embracing storytelling. I mean, just everything. People are
Fashion,
so
story, music, all of it.
lifestyle, all of it, culture. And it's huge. And even like with platforms, that platform is going to be huge. It's going to just change the game. My husband is a musician, and he works with a lot of old school cats, and they're used to the music industry working in a traditional way. Like they're like, well, it has to be this way, but they can't wrap their head around that they can actually get distribution, get attention by embracing the internet, just because working in the old ways. So we had some questions. I did a video and I asked people to ask any questions, because I know LinkedIn Live is a little bit hard, tracking the questions. So we've got one from Gabriel Leo, and he asked about a video he posted today. He says he just really wants you to talk about life, your experiences, being authentic, and sharing the spotlight with these amazing individuals who you were able to speak about, and their stories and things that shape their lives. So what I'm getting from this is that people are like basically putting out their cue. And I know I said it in the beginning, and I don't know if it makes you uncomfortable when I tell you how many people you have impacted. How does that make you feel? I know it makes you feel good. Does it make you feel uncomfortable at all, though?
Yeah, I would say it makes me feel uncomfortable. It's my entire life, it was Q, you're an idiot, or you got a D, like what's going on, or you can't do that, so I don't think people talk about this enough, but it is uncomfortable because for the longest time I struggled with, damn, I was alone. And now that I'm getting video views, people think I'm cool. Why didn't they think
Right.
I was cool before? You know, is it just what I've done? Is it just my content? Is it just they want something from me? So it does make me uncomfortable, but also like it's really freaking cool getting a message like, yo, I just signed my first 100 like 6-figure deal because of a thing that you posted that inspired me, or because of someone you connected me to. Like that's freaking amazing and it feels good, you know? So it makes me uncomfortable, but it's really cool to see people taking action from just a thing that a 26-year-old kid is doing, you know, like it's really cool. It does make me uncomfortable, but it's really cool. And I wouldn't change it or trade it for anything.
Well, I ask you that because I can sense it. Like when I it's like the same thing with me when people give me compliments. I'm the first one to be like, okay, can we just take the light off me and go back to you? And I don't know why it is, and I don't know why I do that. Maybe that's something that we both need to look into a little deeper, you know. But I think it's awesome that you're so humble about it. But you really, really should let it sit in that your words. It's not even just your videos. It's just that, you know why they didn't pay attention to before, because they didn't know you. They didn't have a chance to really understand who you were. And now that we do, and we get to hear your words, please never stop. Please never stop, because it's really, really, really amazing.
Thank
It's
you.
not enough people, you know, say the tough things, say the things that are difficult.
See,
So,
that's it
okay,
though. Like it's nothing special that I'm doing, you know. I'm building a business, which so many people are, and I'm sharing the bricks while I lay in building my own house. You know, like I'm just sharing it. Like there's nothing special about what I'm doing. It's just I'm doing it, and everyone can do
yes.
it. Like that's it.
That's the thing is, but the simplicity of it is what makes it so difficult, because it's hard to wrap your mind. Everybody wants
It's just so
that. What are
sad.
the
Someone
three
messaged me.
tips?
And he's like, someone messaged me yesterday. He's like, dude, I love what you're doing. I'm following you for 2 years. I'm thinking about starting and creating content, and building my brand, and putting myself out there so that I can close deals because my job is just commission based. I was like, dope, that's cool. Why haven't you done it yet? That's it,
Yeah,
man. He's like, I don't know. I don't have an answer. I'll do it. Like,
it's true. I mean, that's the thing is we get stuck in our head. I think sometimes, I mean, why community is so important is because a lot of times we know exactly what we want to do, what we should be doing. I mean, all the information is out there. It's all free. We just got to do it, but we need that validation. You know, that we're going in the right, you know, and because it is very lonely, you know, and it's hard for people to admit that they don't know something, because if they admit they don't know something, then you might see them as weak or not educated or not on the top of their game, and it's actually been completely different. Like I've noticed people speaking their truth, and it's actually connecting more with people.
yeah.
It's mind-boggling, but at the same time, it's not. You know, I think it's just because I think it's the evolution of the internet. I think the consumer has evolved, the marketer has evolved, the platforms have evolved. The consumers are smarter. They don't want to be. You can't be an affiliate marketer and just pitch a crappy product. You need someone to stand behind that product and who's going to pitch it. And so you have to now. There's got to be all these different joint ventures and people set really has no place moving forward. So it's just a really,
Yeah.
really crazy to me how things have evolved and has changed. And I think it's a beautiful time, because there was, like, I built websites for a living. There's times where I could sell a website for $20,000. I can't do that anymore. I won't do that anymore, because I don't think that I mean, unless you have a certain business and you're selling, you're like an Amazon, but for a personal brand, you don't need a website. You know, a lot of people are stuck in all the tactical things that they need, but what you need to do is what do you think they need to do? Just do
I
it?
don't know. I need more information on who they are and what they're trying to do. And I think anyone that says that there's a one size fits all is complete bullshit, because there's not. I would need more information. But if you do, you can learn. You know, it's a science experiment. You know, business to me is a game. Like plug in X, like see what comes out. You know, like that's how I am. Science experiment.
It's even with it is even with content. Like I've experimented with different content, and you know, some of it works and some of it doesn't. But there's only one way to figure it out, and that's in doing it. So, all right. So I have some more questions. This question came from Jamima Kamam, And she said, I just finished reading Q's post about his loss, the impact on so many who are sharing their emotions, how they're coping, and how it changes one's perspective and priorities. I know this is a really, really tough subject for you, and it's still very new for you. So if you don't want to talk about it, I completely get it. But I know that you were very verbal about it on your post. So if you'd like to speak to that a little bit, that would be amazing.
Yeah. Loss sucks. Complete bullshit. It's something that all of us are going to have to deal with. There's no words for it, but from what I've experienced, I'm very lucky in terms of the fact that I'm my own boss and I've got an amazing team and they picked up the slack, they filled in the gaps, and not many people get to experience that, I just found out that you only get 3 to 5 days off when someone in your family or friends die. 3 to 5 days off. That's complete bullshit, complete bullshit. And just things like that, that's what I want to change. That's what I want to bring more awareness to, because I didn't know, and I'm very lucky in the fact that I make my own schedule. I get to do what I want to do and what's best for me. And I think a lot of people are just forced to dive back into work, dive back into problems that they have, instead of exploring the changes that happen when you're grieving. Because grief isn't just anger. It's not just sadness. It's not just any of those. It's all of it, and there's just some real change that goes on. I've been talking to people, people that started business, people that did very stupid things that had amazing impact because they were going through grief. So that's just something I want to explore more. I'm going to be creating some films around that very, very soon. So it's a very interesting subject. I don't have issues talking about it. I don't want to go into detail, of course, but grief and loss sucks.
Yeah, and there's no way around it, and it does take time, and it's definitely not 3 to 5 days, and it is tough. So thank you for sharing that, and thank you, because a lot of people, they get really angry about it, and I'm really, really, I think it's awesome that you're using this as a way to grow and to dig deeper.
It's cool to be angry though. I've been fucking mad. Yeah, still it's totally cool. That's what I'm saying. We got to explore it,
All of
because
it.
anger is also useful.
Absolutely. So is fear. So are all these things that we give a lot of negative, connotations to. But we have those driving forces. I came from a very, very tough life. I didn't know it then. That's where I got my real positive attitude, because I was surrounded by so much negativity. But if I was surrounded by a completely different life and I had everything I wanted or needed, I might not be the person I am today. So, embrace the suck, and go with it, but don't hide it. Don't pat it. I came from a time where you did. I came from a time where you showed weakness, and it meant that you were weak. And that was not respected. And it was something that you had to hide. So for me, nobody would know if I was going through a tough time, because I'm smiling, right? But, as I've gone onto this personal, branding journey, and I say that because that's how I got into it. I never did video ever. My first video was in 2018. I did a brokerage. I tried to get other agents to do it because I did do real estate too, and nobody embraced it. So I said that it fueled me. And that's the only reason why I kept doing it, is because I am also an artist. I started as an actress back in the day, and my husband was a musician. That's how we both met, and how we both. My husband built one of the first digital studios back in '94, and that's actually how we got into computers and technologies, because it got so expensive that we had to build these things for ourselves, and then he built computers just to make a living to support his music. And it's funny how you say, you focus on your passions, and your passions lead you to where you want to go, even though in the moment it doesn't feel like it. Because I know for me, even 2016 was such a tough year for me. I had literally a nervous breakdown, and that's what I think. So embrace the suck.
Yeah.
Very interesting. All right, so let's go to the next question we have. Indeed. Next question is from Chris. Okay, boom. He wants to know, Chris Colt, he wants to know, what was the one move that you made that went completely opposite of your vision? and what good came out of it?
Yeah, originally Urban Misfit Ventures. Actually, I wasn't even the name back then. It was just supposed to be an online TV show where we traveled and interviewed cool people. Probably the worst business model that anyone could ever think of, but that was us. And we completely changed it. And now we are more of an umbrella. We own two different companies, events, one's agency. And honestly, like, best decision that we've made as a company, but also it just showed us like, hey, like, we're having a lot of success with the people that we're working with, but also the companies that we're working with, and we're making them a lot of money. We're getting them cool results, getting them a lot of awareness. Why not learn from it, and build our own companies underneath and build our own brands and products underneath and use our agency as fuel to help grow those products, just like we're doing our clients. So it just completely flipped how I saw things and what I want to do. And also like working with clients and people, like, they pay me, yes, to get results, but I'm getting paid to learn from them. It's a free education for me, which is, again, tapping into my curiosity. So just flipping the script, not being afraid to pivot because our model was just complete trash. So now we're good, this is the best year we're having, and it's just Q1. So
that is awesome. So, I mean, the strategy is in the action of doing. And, because business plans, how many business plans I've written that just were like, just a bunch of bullshit. It's like, why did we spend so much time on this? It was like, it didn't even have anything to do with it. It's good to have like a plan, but not spend like so much time on a business plan per se, because it totally did not go the right way. All right. Next is, okay, so awesome. Okay, this was a question that got me too, and I actually was thinking about this a little bit more. So this question is like awesome. She goes, I would like to hear what goal would thrill you beyond fear.
What does that mean? Rephrase that, please.
I don't know. So supposed to know what goal, what's something that you could do that you would embrace no matter how scared you were by it. What's that? I had to struggle. Yeah.
I don't know. For whatever reason, like, it's not that I'm not afraid, because I'm probably afraid all the time. I just don't really care. It's pretty much everything. And maybe that's just the business owner in me. I just don't care, like I will own an esports team. I will be a part of the team that's marketing the colonization of Mars. I probably start another company because I'm bored. Like, I don't know. I don't really care about my fears. So I don't think there's a answer. Like, I'm totally afraid, like, all the time. I don't care.
Don't let it affect you. That's awesome. You're like, screw you, fear. Yeah. It's okay. We make like symbiotic relationship with fear. You're like, you need it, and you're gonna use it. I love it.
And I think it's because I actually care about what I want to do. There are actually things I want to do, not just things I'm doing to please other people. And I think that's a reason. If it was like, yo, like, go take off all your clothes and dance in the park, I don't think that would make me afraid. But like, that's not something I want to do. So I like, You know
how many people are upset by that right now? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. They're like, what? All right, so let's see if there's anything else. Esports is going to be the next form of expression for the new generation. I absolutely agree, Gabriel. We have Tarek, that's all you, okay. It's very interesting. So LinkedIn Live, guys, like, your comments come in as we're talking, so it's really hard when we go back there. I just want to call out to Robert for being here. Tarek, Renee, so many people here, because I wanted to hear you talk. Oh, and then we have Mike. I don't know if you're ready to do this, but we'll save it for the end. But he says that you have this Tarzan yell that is just epic.
Yeah, no, not happening, Mike. You don't pay me enough for that.
Oh man, I told you I would try. I said I would ask. I did it. That is so funny. So Q, I have a question. I ask everybody this. What does success mean to you?
Yeah. Mike, the guy that said I have an epic Tarzan yell, reframed my view on that. And honestly, it's just to know that I'm having fun doing what I'm doing. And I could give you a complicated answer. There's a lot of things that I want to do. There's a lot of, like, I know exactly where I want to be, but I'm actually enjoying it. One more time, sorry.
Oh, I said you're only 26. You've got so much ahead of you. It's gonna, it's gonna change and grow. I'm so excited to watch your journey. What's interesting is that you've grown so much in just the 2 years. Like, I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years. It took me 20 years to get to this growth. And you, in 2 years, to have these thoughts, to have this perspective at 26 is amazing. Like, I want to continue following your journey, because you at 36, oh my God, I just can imagine. So that's for me. Like, I believe in community. I believe in deeper relationships and building relationships. It's been huge for me. You know that me and you've been going on for quite some time now.
I'm sorry this took so long.
Like I said, it's divine. A way for us to collaborate. In the past, we probably would have done something different. And I'm really happy to have this conversation with you, because you have grown so much, and it's really important, you, not just for me, but for all these people in this live, to hear your journey, because they are struggling too. They're just embarking on it. And I do think it's important for everybody to take their passion, to find what makes them passionate in life, and try to find a way to include that in their life more, because life does suck and it is hard. And I thought money was a thing that you needed, and yeah, you need money, and it all makes balance, but finding happiness within yourself, me at 40, that is huge. That inner confidence, that's something that nobody can take away from you. You take me. It's such a beautiful thing, personal branding. As much of a buzzword as it's become, like, crypto and blockchain or everything, or authenticity or influencer, when you are impacted by something authentic like you, and like the people that you have inspired to come out and find themselves, it's hard to deny that when you see it. And I think that's why people are resonating so much with you, is because you're so honest, you're so real. Like, I don't feel fakeness from you at all. And that is hard to come by.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, it was very cool chatting with you. I haven't been live in like months, so.
You haven't, what'd you say?
I've been on LinkedIn Live for like 6 months, so this is awesome.
Good. Well, I hope it was a good experience for you, and for me too. So for me, thank you. And I cannot wait to see more of your videos and your content. And what about your music? Do you play music, like, still, or is it just for you personally?
I play for me personally. I learned a lot of lessons from it, but I probably will never get back into it. If I wanted to, that would be cool, because I don't know, it's just a cool time for musicians right now, but no, probably not.
Well, do it for yourself. My husband, he does the same thing. He plays guitar and piano, and for him, it's how he communicates. Like, we're still working on a communication between him and I, but like, he's like, if we're fighting, like, I'll write you a song or something. So I think we all have our ways of communicating. So is there anything that you want to add, to any message you want to leave with anybody before we sign off?
Just make sure you're doing what you actually want to do. It sucks, but even that video I posted yesterday, like, it's just basically about my journey and like what it was actually like. I can go back to every part that showed my face, and I remember the exact feeling of that moment. You're building a story as you're going through it. Just make sure it's a good story that you'd be proud of, story that you're gonna have fun building. But yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, Q, thank you so very much. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, LinkedIn, for being here with us. And that's it, guys.
Thank you, Wolfgang.
Thank you, Wolfgang. Wolfie, come here, buddy. Come here. Come here, like, what?
Yes.
Put these pepperoni on and get him over here. Wolfie,
that's amazing.
Come here. I can't even believe that he was a stray. There's like, it's, for me, he was a stray for like a year. I don't even know how it is, because he's like, oh, outside it's raining. Sorry. He hardly goes outside once we take him out. So he's funny.
He's gorgeous.
And to your whole team, the Misfits, Izzy, all of you guys are just so much inspiration for all of us. And thank you so much. Wolfie, get over here. He's gonna make you work for it. He says, hey, oh, I heard him. He said, if you do the Tarzan scream, the Tarzan yell, he'll come over here.
No, Wolfie, you don't pay me enough for that. Come here, buddy.
Wolfie, get over here. Who was gonna go get Wolfie?
Another time, man. Chillin'.
Wolfie, come back. Well, that's all you got. Now he's under the table, his second most spot that he stays the most of the days.
Awesome. You have a good day.
Look at him.
Bye,
All right, you take care. Bye.
Awesome.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.